Hello everyone, welcome to Select Star. Today I have come up with a basic portfolio project idea. We will download the data from Kaggle, clean it in PostgreSQL, run some queries to do analysis, create a report that you can see on the screen, and finally upload the project on GitHub. Like always, if you have any questions, you can comment them. I will be happy to help. All the resources for this project are free and their links have been mentioned in the description box. There are many websites from where you can download data for practicing. Kaggle.com is one of the most known websites. You just need to create a login ID when you go to Kaggle.com and then you can start directly. Once you have logged in, you need to go to dataset and then search the type of dataset. Not in the above search but below where it specifically says search dataset. Once you hit enter, you will get many options from the datasets. You need to go through the description of those datasets and see if they are in the required format or not. I selected this dataset because of its usability, which is 10. Download option is available on top right. Once you have downloaded the data, you can open any RDBMs of your choice to upload it. I will also suggest you folks to surf the website and see what other options are available. Like you can see what are the trending datasets. You can check models and code of fellow analysts, ML engineers, coders on this website and participate in various competitions as well. With this information, let's move to PostgreSQL where I will upload this data. If you are using any other RDBMS, the steps will be similar. In order to upload data from a CSV, we will have to first create those tables where we will upload the data. Now I will not be going into details of how to create a table as I already have a video on it. If you have any doubts, you can watch that video, and if you have any questions, do let me know in the comment section. As you can see, we have created the fact table and it is empty as of now. Now, to upload data, you need to go to servers and then the database in which you have created the table. Then to schemas and then public, and then finally you will be able to see the table name that you have created. If you are unable to see the table name that you have created, you need to right click on tables and refresh it. Once you see the table name, right click on it, then select import export. A pop-up window will appear where you will need to select the location of your CSV file and then click OK. Once you click OK, you will get a prompt stating process started, and when it is completed, you will get another prompt stating process completed or failed depending on the success of operation. As of now, process is completed. Let's do a select start to see data in it. We can see that data has been loaded and it is ready for analysis. Let's create other tables and upload data in them. This time we have got an error as the process has failed. Let's click on view process to check the issue. Once you are on the processes page, you will be able to see multiple processes. We need to see the latest issue. It will be on top, or you can check the time as well. We need to click on this document type image that says view details when you hover over it. The error says copy customer dim line to 8927, meaning there is some issue in line 8927 of our CSV. Now we'll have to check the values that we have in this CSV. You can do this in Python. I will be doing it in Google Sheets, as writing a Python code for checking a line will be time consuming compared to opening it in Google Sheets and then updating the values. Over here, we can see that in second column, the last character is an invalid character. So we will just remove it, then save the file and try uploading this CSV in Postgre. This time the process has completed successfully. Let's do a select start to see the values. We have successfully updated the second table as well. Let's upload the third table now. One column was named DESC, which is a keyword in SQL, so I have changed the name to descent. This time we have got an error in line 115. Let's sort this out. We have got a long dash. We need to replace it with simple dash. With this table, we have completed the process of uploading data in Postgres. Now it's time to clean the dataset, that is removing null and duplicate values. Before removing or updating nulls and duplicates, we need to understand that some values in a table can be null or duplicated, while some columns, especially the primary keys, cannot be nulls or duplicates. For this fact table, payment key, customer key, time key, quantity, and unit price are the columns that I believe cannot be nulls. So let's write a query to find if there are any null values in these columns. So there are no rows that have null values. Let's do a similar test for all other tables. We have checked all the tables and luckily we did not get any null values in the primary keys. It's time to check the duplicate values. Just like null values, some columns can have duplicate values while some columns like primary key cannot have duplicates. So how to check if there are duplicates or not? We can count the number of rows and distinct values of primary key. If they are same, it will mean that every row has got a distinct primary key, hence there are no duplicates. But what if a table, like fact table in this case, does not have a primary key? In this case, we can combine some columns that will form a primary key and then count their values. But first let's get the count of number of rows in this table. We have got 1 million or 10 lakh rows. Now, if we have a look at fact table, a customer at a given time can be present at only one store. So, if we combine the time key, customer key and store key, these three combined should act as a primary key. Let's get these three columns and then find the number of distinct rows in it. We have got 10 lakh rows again, so we can assume that all the rows in this table are distinct. Let's do a similar check for remaining tables. This table already has a primary key, so we will just find the number of rows and count of distinct values of primary key. If it matches, the table is good to go. We have got the same number. Let's repeat for remaining tables. We have checked for null values and duplicates in all the tables and can now say that the data is clean. It's time to move to the analysis part. Before starting with analysis, one important thing that we need to do while working is to get some raw data from all the tables. This will help us with column names and data types whenever required. So let's put a limit 5 on every table and put that result in a sheet or Excel. Also, if you put this project in your resume, the interviewer might want to see the tables that you have uploaded. You can either download it directly or click on this downward arrow and select copy with headers and then do a control C and then a control V in the sheets. Now we have got all the tables in sheets. Remember, while working in an organization, you should have some data of all the tables that are used frequently. Coming to the analysis part, I will be doing a basic analysis for this project. That is, we will be finding revenue, units sold, average at monthly and yearly levels, and find some insights related to products and customers. If you want to try something else, you are more than welcome. So let's get started. These three things, revenue, unit and average at monthly level, can be found in single query, so no need to write three queries. We will join the fact table and time name, then do a group by year and month, and then simply do the sum and averages. We have got an error. Some character varying does not exist. This has happened because quantity is a string, not an integer. So we can either use the alter keyword to change the data type of quantity column, or you can just cast quantity as integer over here. But before that, it is important to check all the values in quantity column to ensure that these values can be converted to integer. Let's quickly do a select distinct quantity to see all the values. All the values are looking fine, so we can just cast it as integer over here. We have got monthly level revenue, units and average. One pro tip over here is that things that can be easily done in Excel or Google Sheets should not be done in SQL. For example, there is no need to do an order by here. We will put this data in Sheets and just order it. Second thing is we have monthly level data for revenue and units, and we can easily sum them in Sheets. So no need to find yearly revenue and units sold. However, for yearly average we will have to run another query. You can see that we have easily ordered the data. If you do this in SQL, the query will be costly. Let's create pivot tables to find yearly revenue and units sold. You can use some ifs as well. The value of revenue is in numbers, which is quite difficult to read. Let's convert these numbers into crores so that we can read them easily. Let's do the same for yearly revenue. Similarly, let's find the units sold at yearly level. Let's convert these units sold into lakhs so that it is readable. Let's now find top categories and products. What I want to do is find revenue for top 5 and then club the remaining categories or products in others for the sake of comparison. This time we will join the fact table with item name. We don't have to filter any rows, so we will not use where. We will directly group by descent and then find the sum. We have got the amount as per descent. Now we just have to rank them. Let's create a city out of this and then use dense rank for ranking so that when you have two or more similar amounts, they get same rank and no rank is skipped. We have got the rankings as well. Now we'll create another city and then divide these into top 5 and others. I hope this case statement is clear. It is not very difficult to understand. We have got the required result now. We will copy and paste this in sheets. Let's create a new sheet for top 5 products and categories. Now for top 5 items, we will just copy this whole query, the previous query that we wrote for categories, and just change the column names over there. We have got the list of top 5 items and others as well. Let's copy and paste it. I forgot to change the column name. We will do that in sheets. It's time to analyze customer behavior. Over here, we will be finding top banks and payment methods used by customers and then top districts. I wanted to analyze new customers coming every year and compare them with the recurring customers, but it is not possible with this data set. If you have any other idea, you can go ahead and try it. We have got the transaction type used by customers. Let's copy and paste this in sheets. Now let's find the most preferred banks. We have got the number of transactions and revenue generated through a bank. Let's create a city out of this and then find the top 5 banks. Now we have got the number of transactions and revenue for top 5 banks and the remaining in others. Let's just copy and paste this in sheets. Now the analysis part is complete and we will now create a report out of it. We will not be creating a dashboard. However, if you want, you can create a dashboard as well. But as of now, we will be creating a report because when you work in real time, most of the times you are required to create reports and not dashboards in Excel or SQL. So in our report, first of all, we will add the years. We will just transpose it so that we can compare it better. Now we will put yearly revenue, units sold and average value below these. We can now see the first part of the report. We can see revenue units and average order together, and it is readable as well. Now let's add the list of top 5 categories and items. It would have been better if we changed the values to gross earlier, but not an issue. Now let's add payment methods and top banks as well. So we have finally created the full report. It shows us the yearly comparison of revenue units and average orders, and then tells us about the top categories and products, and also shares the information about payment method and bank names. If you want, you can find some other insights and show that in your report. The report creation and formatting is complete now. We will now go to GitHub where we will upload this full project. GitHub is the most common website used by programmers all over the world, and it is certainly the best for hosting your portfolio project. It is free of cost. It just needs you to create a login ID, which I believe you will be able to do so. We will be directly starting by creating a new repository or repo in short. You need to click on the new icon to get started with a new repository. Now, on this page, you need to give a name. I am naming it as sales project. It checks if the name is repeating or not. If yes, it will show the message in green. Description is optional, so let's leave it. Important thing is that the repository should be public or else it cannot be seen by anybody else. The most important thing is to tick mark the add a readme file option. You must allow this. No need to touch any other option as you are good to go. Just click on create repository option. The repository or repo in short has been created now. We will click on the edit option to start. A readme file is where you will write every detail about the project. You can see hashtag sales project already written. It is our repo name and in a way title of the project. Just above hashtag sales project you can see edit and preview options. We are in edit and as name suggests we will be editing the project information here. And then we'll go to preview option where we'll be able to view how the project looks. Let's begin documenting our project. The first important thing is to understand hashtag. Whenever we want to give a heading, we will use hashtag. Note that if you increase the number of hashtags, the size of heading will decrease. As of now, you can see two sales projects of equal sizes on the screen. Let me increase the number of hashtags for the second sales project. You can see that the size of second sales project has decreased. We will use this technique to create subheadings. The first subheading should be description. Now I will not be writing the full description as I believe that you folks can write a great description. Make sure to keep it crisp and clear and within 5 to 6 lines as nobody likes or has time to read lengthy descriptions. The preview looks fine. Let's move to the second subheading, which is data source. Now we know that for writing a heading we will use hashtags, but if we want to write a bullet point we need to use the dash. You can see that we have got a bullet point. Now let's mention the link with it. It's a good idea to encapsulate the link within brackets, so let's do that. I have copied and pasted the link over here. Let's preview this. It looks okay, but it will be better if instead of this long link we are able to write some information about the link. We can achieve this by writing that information inside square brackets before the link. I hope that this is clear about how to attach a link. Our next subheading would be the tools that we have used. So we will mention SQL and Google Sheets. We will also mention that why we have used them and share related links. The above three headings, that is description, data source and tools, are important and should be there at the starting so that the person going through this gets an idea about your project. Now we will be moving towards the uploading and analysis part where we will be incorporating the code that we have written in SQL. If we directly mention our code here like this, it will not work. It will show us as text in preview. To overcome this issue, we need to put three single backquote key at the beginning, then mention the language that we are using, SQL in this case, then full code, and then three single back key again at the end. You will find these backquote keys with tilde sign, usually just beside one on the laptop. You can see that our code is showing differently and it has also got a copy option. So we will just copy and paste our full query inside this. We can see that our code is actually showing as code, but this certainly is not a great way to show our code. We need to elaborate all the steps that we have done while uploading. So we will segregate this code one by one. But before that, let's put the analysis code as well so that we can do it at once. Here we have encountered an issue. You can see that for full code for duplicate values is not showing as code but as text. This happens when our code is not in a line, meaning we have given extra spaces at the beginning of code or somewhere in between the code. Here we can see that in line 128 the 3 backticks are starting after few spaces. Now to rectify this issue, you can just add those 2-3 spaces for full code, or you can just remove the 3 spaces before backticks. Let me show you the issue with the first way. You can see that though we added spaces to all the lines, yet it has not come under the code. So we will be required to add spaces again. Second thing is, if you look closely, the code above the heading is slightly on left as compared to that below it. Hence, it is always the best practice to not leave any blank space before your code lines and before the 3 backticks. As of now, we'll just go ahead with the first way. I will certainly suggest you folks to not miss any spaces. Next important subheading of this project would be the recommendations or findings that we have done. And again, I will not be writing full recommendations over here. I will leave it up to you guys. Maybe if you have done any other analysis, you can post them over here. One important thing over here would be attaching the screenshots of our findings. I will tell you this, but before that, we need to commit these changes. Commit in GitHub means saving our work. Now we have saved our work, so in case even if we close this page by mistake, it will still be there. Now coming to the part where we will upload a screenshot of our findings, we need to go to this add file and then click on upload file. We will choose the file. Now I have uploaded the sales.jpg, that is a screenshot of our analysis. We need to commit the change to save it. Now again we will edit the readme file. Go to the bottom where we want to paste this file, and over there we will just do a drag and drop. The uploading is complete. Let's go to the preview section to see if it is coming in a proper way. As you can see, the screenshot is now showing. Similarly, you need to post all other findings screenshots so that the person who is viewing your project is able to see the findings. Let's just commit the changes so that the work is not erased. Now coming to the last heading or subheading of the project, it would be the references that you have used. It is an optional thing, and if you don't want to read, it's up to you. However, there is one important thing that is left. If you scroll up, you will see that there are lots and lots of lines. Hence, it is easy for someone to get lost at one topic. And the other thing is, what if someone is not interested in your SQL queries and directly want to skip to your recommendations or findings? In that case, we will need contents at the top. Now to give a type of link, we need to start with the square brackets and then put the subheading inside it, followed by round brackets, hashtag, and then the same heading. We can just do a copy paste of the subheadings as well. However, doing this much will not be enough, as you can see in the preview. description is coming, but it's not a link. So what we need to do is commit the change. Once we commit the change, it will come with the link, and if you click on it, it will take you the description option. Now description is just below the contents option. So let's try it for the remaining subheadings. Now when you have a space in the heading, what you need to do is that instead of that space, you need to put a dash over there. Now we have created links for every heading. Let's commit this change and see if it's working. It's working for data cleaning, however, it might not work for recommendations/findings. Yes, it's not working. If you are following along, you can confirm this. This has happened because of the slash that we have. Let's add it and just remove the slash from the round brackets. The link is working fine now, and with this I would like to conclude this project. This was a portfolio project for beginners, and more than analysis, it was focused on how to create a project, like from where to get data, how to upload it in an RDBMS, do some analysis, create report or dashboard, and then finally showcase it on GitHub. I hope that you learned something from the video. If you have any questions and feedbacks, the comment section is all yours. Thanks for joining me today. Do subscribe and share the channel with your friends. Signing off now.